Hey everybody, it's Camille Martin with Love to Lose, where I teach you how to love your life and lose the weight. Back in my miserable dieting days when I used to diet over and over again and of course fail over and over again, I would vow to myself every single time that this time is going to be the one where I stick to it and I finally do whatever the diet tells me to do and I'm finally going to lose the weight. But every single time I would find myself in my kitchen, binging on all the comfort foods that were around the kitchen, just calling out to me. I would end up going to dinner with my girlfriends and saying, I'm only going to get a salad, only to dive headfirst into the chips and cheese dip. And at those same dinners, my girlfriends and I would talk about how hard it was to lose weight, how disgusting we all looked, how fat we were, and how things were never going to change. Then I would go home and turn on the TV and watch some sort of Dateline episode on like a murder-suicide or something. This was pre-Netflix. Then in my spare time, I would flip through People magazine or whatever and stare at the spreads on who has the best bikini body. Oh my God, no wonder it took me 25 years to lose the same 10 pounds. And if I had known then what I know now, it wouldn't have taken me that long and I could have saved myself so much misery. And what I do know now is that no amount of willpower or hard work is enough to overcome your environment. Here's how your environment works. It is influencing you to have certain feelings, and those feelings make you think certain thoughts, and then those thoughts cause you to act. So everything in your environment is making you feel, think, and act in a certain way. And the problem is that you can't see it because you're in it all the time. You're immersed in your environment, so you can't see all of the ways that it's setting you up to fail. And I'm certain if I came to your house and looked around, I would easily be able to spot at least 10 ways that your environment is sabotaging you. But since you can't see it, what you do is you end up blaming yourself for not having enough willpower, not realizing at all that all of these influences, your environmental influences, are setting you up to fail and keeping you failing over and over again. So let's talk about 3 ways that your environment is setting you up to fail. The first and most obvious environment is your physical environment. And when we're talking about health and weight loss, that environment is your kitchen. If I came into your kitchen and opened up the cabinets and the refrigerator and the drawers and looked around, I would probably find a lot of clutter, things that you don't need. I would probably find a lot of expired items. Your refrigerator is probably packed to the gills and stuffed full of foods that you're not going to eat or that may even be expired. And I'm pretty sure that I would be able to see that your kitchen is not a place of joy and beauty. Most people go into their kitchen as least often as they can. Nobody really wants to spend time in their kitchen because it's so cluttered and it's so overwhelming and it doesn't make you feel good. It's not a place of creativity or joy or beauty. And if you don't have the right equipment, you don't have what you need to cook a healthy meal and to cook as often as possible, you're not going to make the healthy choices that you need to make. So I have a guide. It's a free guide that you can get on my website, and I've also put the link down in the description below. It's how to set your kitchen up to be your ultimate weight loss kitchen, and for your environment, your physical environment, to be really like your secret weight loss weapon, because you can set your kitchen up so that it makes decisions for you, as crazy as that sounds. But what happens when you do that is that willpower is no longer necessary. The second way your environment is setting you up to fail is in terms of your mental and emotional environment. In other words, what you read, what you watch on TV, and what you scroll through on your phone looking at social media probably is bringing you down. And that feeling of being demoralized or depressed, or to feel like, the world is coming to an end, that has a tremendous effect on your food choices. So think about it. If you sit and watch some sort of Netflix documentary on child molesters, that makes you feel like crap. It makes you feel depressed and down. And when you feel that way, you're more likely to do what? Eat emotionally. You're going to fill yourself up with some food, make yourself feel better, and it's comforting. And you don't want to do that. Also, what you read, what books you read. Do you read, crime books? Or do you read, do you get online and just read news stories that are negative and make you feel bad? And definitely, if you're scrolling through Instagram constantly and looking at all of these fitness people, influencers who have the perfect body, that makes you feel bad. So spend as little time as possible bringing yourself down, reading and watching things that don't make you feel good. Read an inspiring book. Read a biography of a woman who really achieved something amazing. Make yourself inspired. Definitely don't watch the news. The news is like the single worst thing you can do. If there's something you need to know about in terms of current events, trust me, you will hear about it. You don't need to inundate yourself with negative news. So read something inspiring, browse through a beautiful cookbook and get a recipe idea. Do things that make you feel good. Watch and read inspiring things that make you feel good and bring you up and feel inspired rather than bring you down. The third way your environment may be sabotaging you is your social environment. And this one is hard for a lot of people because you spend a lot of time with people who are either family members or old friends, dear old friends from a long time ago, or people you work with, and you can't get away from the people in those groups who are negative or talk about how bad everything is or how hard it is to lose weight, for example, or who complain about their lives or talk only about themselves. You can't completely eliminate some of these people from your orbit, but you can take steps to spend as little time as possible around these people. People who do complain all the time and who do talk about negativity and destruction and how the world's coming to an end brings you down again. So you want to find positive, inspired people who are excited about their lives, who see the possibility in everything, who talk about how losing weight can be fun or it's not as hard as you think it is. Hey, people like me, listen to me. I want to talk about how it is possible. You want to spend time with people who are on fire for life and not constantly complaining and bringing you down. So consider this too, that every minute or hour you spend with one of those people in excess and that it's bringing you down completely, that was an hour that you could have spent with someone else who is inspiring and has something positive to say. Or at least you could have spent that time reading and watching something inspiring. So do what you can, set boundaries, tell people that you can't go do these things with them. I can't go to dinner tonight. Just RSVP, no, it is okay. Spend as little time as possible around people who bring you down and find people who build you up and make you feel positive and excited about life. The main thing I want you to get from this video is to know that it is not your fault that you haven't been able to lose weight. That doesn't mean you don't need to also take control and take responsibility. But if you've been dieting, of course, and it doesn't ever work, that is not your fault. The approach you're using does not work and it never will. It's also not your fault that you don't have enough willpower because willpower runs out. And furthermore, if you have set up every environment in your life by accident to sabotage everything that you're doing, all your hard work and the willpower that you're having to use, it's not your fault. If you make some simple and effective changes to your environment, that may be the difference between failure and success. As author James Clear says, and if you don't know who he is, he wrote a fantastic book called Atomic Habits. He is amazing, and his quote, one of my favorites, is, "Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior." So in other words, your environment, your physical environment, your mental and emotional environment, and your social environment are all pushing you to do what you do every single day. So set your environments up, clean house, clean everything out, get a fresh perspective, and set yourself up for success. You don't need to make it harder than it needs to be. And if you want to go way more in depth on how to clean up your environment, I have written an entire book about this very thing and other things like why diets don't work, how to change your habits and your thoughts. But you need to get a copy of it now, and you can get it at my website at CamilleMartinRD.com/shop on my shop page. Also, don't forget about the free guide to setting your kitchen up for weight loss success. That link is below in the description. And most importantly, if you haven't already signed up for my weekly newsletter, make sure to go to my website at CamilleMartinRD.com and get on the list so you can get more tips, inspiration, and motivation on your weight loss journey. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you here next time on Love to Lose.